Alright guys, Scrappy again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. Some important results tonight in the CDL. The seedings are nearly set going into the Major 1 tournament in Madrid in just a few days' time. Some teams on the up, some teams most certainly on the down, but some hacking drama of the day as well. Certainly with the Challengers Cup going on this weekend. Parasite calling out similarly a blatant cheater who has apparently absolutely no remorse. Very much interested in your thoughts in the comments below. Is this Jimbo 2.0? Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I greatly appreciate it. We're going to start right about here. I thought it was pretty funny looking at these matches, because you look at the day and you think, wow, that's a barn burner of a day. Surge Rocker, Gentlemates Falcons, Ravens Heretics. Thankfully, we do have something else to talk about though as well, as Ziddy and Octane are saying, and we'll get into that right about now. So the Cup's going on this weekend, of course, conclusions tomorrow. We'll talk about some of the results and how things are progressing tomorrow morning. But yeah, Encourager's team, of course, one of the more promising up-and-coming players. They're in top 8, potentially going forward as well. But there was a team in this tournament with this guy called Haku on the roster, which is really an incredible gamer tag when it comes down to what this guy was actually up to. So here's what he tweeted out. Round 1 of the Cup, I love having points. And here he is. They 250 to 0, these guys. Obviously, people can just enter and they get slammed. He goes 17-2. Now, you might notice, of course, in the screenshots that if we have a little zoom in, you can see some boxes around the players. And it's pretty clear, you know, there's a green box here and it says the name above it. And you can see on the right-hand side exactly what's going on. Even on the left, you can see a very similar thing. Genuinely incredible how this is even possible, right? Like how, unless this is somehow intentional, that he leaked that he was hacking, how is it even possible to, you know, be that stupid to manage to screenshot something and tweet it out yourself that you're actually hacking? So incredible work from this fella, honestly. And it's not like he said, oh no, you guys remember the other day there was a guy cheating, and at least we're pretty sure that he was, and he said, oh no, I just had this up on my OBS as like a layer or something, and then it was proved that that wasn't really true. This, I mean, there's no way around it. Like, I think unless he's photoshopped this for some reason, it would take a good job to do so. You can literally see the red outline and it says XX, you know, Viper King or whatever above it, which is this guy's gamer tag. So, you know, there was no two ways about reading this. And the guy obviously gets caught and says, I did it for the love of the game. And he went on to confirm that he actually, well, confirm. I mean, can you take any of the things this guy says for real? But what he did say is that he actually never cheated for money. He just did it for the cup. So, I mean, okay, hang on a second. There's money available for the cup. So I guess he's saying that he never used it in wagers, but he downloaded it for the Challengers Cup, where by cheating, you know, you're knocking people out of the tournaments that are competing for money. So this doesn't fly as far as I'm concerned. But I thought it was an incredible explanation. He says, yeah, I was hacking, but, you know, I wasn't cheating when I was playing people in wagers for money, but I was just cheating in probably one of the biggest tournaments, most important tournaments that he's going to play in. So, I mean, it really is incredible stuff. And we've seen a couple of these now over the last couple of weeks of hacking players exposing themselves. It's genuinely impressive. And Para says, as I hate these hacking freaks that expose themselves cheating and trying to rob others of equal opportunities. I will never not miss a chance to flame these guys. So, or losers, I'll just, you know, put it straight out there. So, yeah, unbelievable scenes. There was also some discussion about, you know, the lobby when it was kind of exposed, his teammates, maybe were they talking in a way that implied that they knew. That's the other thing as well, isn't it? Like, someone's hacking. Is the team culpable? Is the team not culpable? It's a matter, to be fair, for some debate whether they knew or not. And Parasite then doubles down. Your profile just smells of self-entitled, egotistical loser, talentless freak, cheating in tournaments, trying to be something you're not. Put the fries in the bag, and while you're at it, make it a large, which I thought was a pretty funny comment. So that's pretty much where we are on the hacking stuff of the day. I thought this was remarkable, though, that in the chat here, so in Discord, they were talking clearly with some of the admins, and the FaceIt admin said, that tweet can be fake for clout. If you have something actionable from the game itself, we'll check it out. This might be something, it might be nothing. Which, like, I want to give these guys that are making the decisions here the benefit of the doubt. But still, I don't really, like, has this been faked? I mean, okay, maybe. But, yeah, I'm not sure if it's nothing, to be honest. And, well, look, I know that it's innocent until proven guilty, so I get that. And I'm sure that the FaceIt guys are going to work through this process in the way that they're going to work through it from a, you know, challenges management perspective. But, still, you got to think that this is probably for real. And also, even if this was potentially not real of the hacker exposing himself and this guy tweeted it for clout. The guy's literally admitted on Twitter that he was cheating. So, like, there is no two ways about this as far as I'm concerned. There were as well some couple of interesting roster changes going into this tournament. So, Illy and Johnny, they've broken up with the team that they had. They're now with Spartan Prolute on the Spartans team. Capsule and Nasties have gone the other way then with Standy and Brack. So, some interesting things happening on some various teams. We'll discuss the results really going into tomorrow. But let's talk about some games because, I mean, look, this match was so funny to me because from the very first moment, I said it this morning, what was this series going to be? It had a Game 5 written all over it, and guess what Surge and ROKKR deliver? It's a Game 5. It was always coming. Honestly, this series, you didn't even need to watch the first 4 maps. Just tune into the map 5, because it was actually a bit of a banger map 5. Game 1 was interesting because, well, Hicksy was getting slammed. Like, he had a really rough map 1, but actually, as the series went on, he was okay. I think that Hicksy does... Look, is he the worst player on the team? Probably. Does he deserve as much hate as he gets, Hicksy? I'm not so sure. Are Surge good? No, I'm still not convinced personally. But look, they did get the job done against the Minnesota ROKKR today, but in frankly an unbelievable fashion. But in frankly a pretty unbelievable fashion, right? So Surge made the comeback on the skyline. They won the game 1. Nero had a crazy map here, dropped 42 kills, but it wasn't enough. There's lots to say on both of these teams, and neither of these teams have really massively impressed me as of late. They then go to the Search and Destroy. They go up 3-0, the Seattle Surge. You're thinking, wow, these guys are going to, go on to win the map or something, but no, ROKKR come back. They take it in round 11, so... one of those series that really just lasted forever. And actually quite a historic series in terms of the amount of numbers that these guys were dropping on the stage. Honestly, really incredible stuff. So this is where we then get to the map 4. So Surge won the control. Map 4 gets underway. And it looked like ROKKR were going to close this out easily. They closed it out, but it was far from easy in the end. Again, CleanX is the player to note here for ROKKR. Estriel deserves so much credit, I think, for the way that he's improved, certainly since the new year. Estriel, like every series he plays now, looks really good. Nero's been pretty good as well. Inconsistent, but that's kind of what you expect. Geo has been alright. I think he's like, I don't know, he's not impressed me massively. I think sometimes he's a bit slow on the map. But CleanX, man, I feel bad for Paul because this guy genuinely was like a good player. There was a brief time on London, certainly on the subliners when they won with HyDra and Kremp and, that team back in the day. There was promise there from CleanX. I don't know whether he's in his own head about the way that he's playing right now, but I mean, look, he's straight up dead weight on this team at the moment. Like, they look like they're playing 3v4 ROKKR a lot of the time, and CleanX this map was 24 in 40. And the final map of the series was an especially brutal one. That map, though, from Nero, he had 100 engagements, which is a season record, beats out X in numbers by 2, 36 kills, 40 deaths, and 24 assists. This guy was absolutely doing it all. But then we get to the final map of the series, and are you surprised? It's a Game 5, Round 11, 1 versus 1. It's like, it's always how it was going to go with these two teams. How good really are they compared to the opposition? I don't know. I think Surge deserves some credit playing out of Vancouver for actually going 4-3 in the online stint. Okay, maybe they haven't always played the best teams, but they've still got the job done sometimes when it mattered. And it was Paul versus Abuzah, an opportunity for CleanX to redeem himself after the very challenging series that he'd had. We get into the 1 versus 1. CleanX is, missing Abuzah a little bit. He goes around the corner. He then eventually finds Abuzah. Height disadvantage. I mean, like, genuinely, what is this chal? Like, he goes for the reload and then he says, I'm going to chal him. He chals, he wide swings and just immediately dies. Doesn't even get a bullet off. Yeah, I don't know about that play, brother. And that was, all she wrote for that series. Fair play to 04, by the way. Absolutely smashing the series record out of the park. 138 kills. It was a pretty bonkers series. And in that very series, I mean, the number 1 to 6 KD in terms of kills dropped in a lobby happens this series with 04, Estriel, Geo, Nero, and Nastie. Of course, CleanX was not on here, and his immediate reaction I thought was kind of telling. Like, he was obviously gutted about it, but like, he's not been playing well, so it's difficult. You can't say it any other way. Hicksy has a 0.7, but CleanX had worse, 0.72 for the loss. Especially the manner of the defeat was particularly painful. So ROKKR end up 2-5. very winnable scenario, you know, that was a big deal because, you know, 3 and 4 winners bracket, that's not how it's looking right now. Kind of looking forward to seeing how Surge do when they get to LAN. I don't think we've seen the best of Abuzah yet. I think he'll get better. I think Hicksy will be better on LAN as well. So maybe on LAN, Surge can be a bit of a force. They've actually done okay online. It's just when I watch them, they don't impress me. Neither do Rocket. I think, honestly, Rocket in some respects have a similar issue to what the FaZe Falcons do. That's they started the year pretty well, so did Rocket, as did, look, the Falcons didn't start the year well, but genuinely their first couple of series, they looked okay. There was a feeling that, oh, Falcons, well, they've kind of were a bit close in some of the maps, they can improve. The problem is for the Falcons, I never really felt like they were going to improve. Not because they're not improving, but because they're just not going to improve at the rate that the other teams improve. The other teams have plenty of veteran players who have been around the league a while. They've played Call of Duty for many years at a high level in respawn play, and they know what to do to improve. So I felt like it was somewhat inevitable that the other teams would simply improve quicker than Falcons. I think we have seen that, and I think that Rocket are on the verge of maybe in a similar boat as well when, you know, we said it before the season started, there's talent, but is there the leadership? Is there that, you know, consistent improvement over the season you'd expect from Rocket as you might expect from a better team? I don't really think so. I think Falcons certainly fall into that camp, especially when they're making a roster change every day. That was the first thing I wanted to mention here, right, is that they got a brand new team. King is in there now, not King of Body. King, a different guy. Wixel, he's gone, so King is back in. Roxas is drawing 0.7s. Maybe it's time to bring Kicks in, but they don't have him. He's back in Saudi. Like, it is an absolute mess, unfortunately, for these guys. But map 1, wow, 72-6. If you score the scoreboard, the same thing happened against OpTic the other time. Was there anyone that genuinely thought they were winning this map? I didn't. And, well, they didn't. So it wasn't long before Gentlemates had brought it back and Gentlemates are winning the map as well. This was, yeah, Exnid had a really rough couple of maps here. Pretty rare. Like, I want to give him benefit of that out, of course, because he's been pretty good so far. I will say King on the AR looked all right. I think, you know, there's something to take here from the Falcons. The problem is that it's just the same old story again and again and again. And, you know, we see it right here. Gentlemates are probably better than they've looked based on their records. But what they haven't done is looked like the OpTic Dynasty. But they did this series because Falcons made it happen, really. I mean, like, I'm not going to comment. I'm just going to pass through the series. I've come to the realization that I'm not even going to get annoyed, like, watching the Falcons play. I'm just going to accept the reality that, you know, there's a lot that needs to be done here with this roster. And it was eventually a very hot 3-0. There was some reset cheese, but in the end, it really just didn't matter at all. So, Falcons become the second ever team to go 0-7 in a qualifier run. No one saw that one coming. And, well, these were just some of the final moments here from the control. But it was soon enough over. And we saw in the end, the numbers looked like this. Again, Roxas with another trademark 0.7. Exnid this time with a really rough series as well. King was actually okay. Doom was okay. You know, it's not like they've got no talents, but, and I think that based on what I've seen, Doom, Exnid, King, and maybe Kicks, that might be the team of 4 that could be the highest ceiling Falcons roster that they could put together. But again, as I say, let's say they do put that roster together and Kicks comes back from Saudi, they're just going to be so far behind, and I don't have the faith that they can actually improve because they're just not experienced enough in these modes. The other team's just going to improve way faster, and I think we're seeing it right now. So they go to 0-7. As I say, it happened before with Boston last year, but Boston at least are making game 5s. I mean, this entire stage, they won 4 maps. They won another map at the minor, but they lost that series too. So they went 0-8 the first stage with 5 map wins and something like 24 map losses. And the final series of the day, an absolute Miami Heretics classic. This series was bonkers, really. Ravens have been struggling badly over these last few days, there's no doubt. But if there was any team, as did Miami to FaZe, giving them the 1 versus 4 that Simp got to arguably kickstart their season, that's what they kind of did to Ravens here, potentially, because Ravens have been struggling a lot. Their hardpoint has been really bad. We saw it again this map as well. Slasher had a really rough one, as, to be fair, kind of did Gwyn, but TJ was cooking, but it wasn't good enough. And Gorillas, they were trying to make winners here. If Miami got 3-0'd by Ravens, it was actually a winner's bracket start for Gentlemates, could you believe it? But not what happened. Ravens lost the first map. That condemns Gentlemates to the loser's bracket start. And after winning the game 1, Miami won the game 2 as well. This was definitely controversial though, this moment right about here. Because this was Real using a spot. Now I know it's a 4 versus 2, but clearly he's in a spot here. I actually wasn't aware of this. But there seems to be a pixel gap between the stairs where he can just see the player. So Slasher has no chance. Like, there is no chance. So yeah, maybe questionable, but still, that was the play that he elected to make in the moment. But as the series continues on, this was critical. Up 2-0, up 2-1 in the control. They lose this round here to the Ravens, they lose the round 5, and all of a sudden the reverse sweep is officially upon us. The control goes the way of the Ravens. Great map here from TJ. The next map was actually a great moment from a couple of players, especially Gwyn. Really, he had some mega moments on this map down to the wire that eventually got them over the line. And then it was a game 5 of Vault, Search and Destroy. To me, there was only one winner. It was going to be the Ravens. Slasher and TJ, both with a bit of a masterclass as this series comes down to the wire. But no doubt, an absolute legacy series here from TJ Halley. So he drops a 1.35. Miami in the stage 2 in 5. Ravens in the stage 5 in 2. We'll look tomorrow what that looks like for the way that the seedings might well play out. But like after a questionable weekend, couple of weekends of Ravens, they do find their form when it matters again. Is it the inconsistency of Heretics? But Ravens showing that there's still that potential there, and TJ is genuinely still one of the more impressive players in the entire game right now. But very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.